Hey guys, welcome back to another Five Nights at Freddy's video. Today I have some Five Nights at Freddy's movie concepts. Now this video is not as big as the last video, but there is some ruined stuff in here which you'll see later. So today we're going to be seeing what these concepts would have looked like if Funko actually made them. I got a whole bunch of FNAF movie action figures and Funko Pops, and I also got some ruined mystery minis and one ruined action figure. Anyway, let's get on with today's video. So the first Funko Pop we got for today's video is, well, movie Freddy. So what I did to make him different from the original one is I got rid of the top teeth. That's, I think, a necessity. Then I gave him his eye color as the Funko Pop eyes, kind of like the Pizza Simulator ones. And I also took this from the Pizza Simulator ones. I gave him like the black around his eye, so it still looks like kind of like what the U2s did. And I actually think this looks really nice. I really hope Funko does this. I also gave him a realistic bow tie, and I gave him closer colors to the actual movie Freddy. And I think there could be a very easy chase for him. All they have to do is make his eyes red and maybe make him look a little bit angrier. All I did was move his eyebrows a little bit, and I gave him like his eyelids like more angrier looking. But yeah, that's movie Freddy. I think this one looks really nice. I really do think we're getting a movie Freddy Pop. Do we know we're getting a Freddy Pop and T? My prediction is that we're going to get a Freddy Pop, and then later on we'll get like a whole FNAF movie wave. But yeah, that's Freddy. Now so we move on to Bonnie. So for Bonnie's Funko Pop, I again gave him one more movie accurate colors. I gave him the new guitar, and I also gave him an endo mouth. I made his teeth look more rounder, like how they're supposed to look. Obviously, I got rid of the top teeth. That just looks stupid. And I gave his normal pop like a more calmer expression, and the other pop a more angry expression, like the one in the first trailer, like the teaser trailer. But yeah, Bonnie's very simple. All I really did was change the color, change the head shape a bit. Everything else is kind of. Oh, I gave him a new pose too, obviously. But yeah, I really hope they make an upgraded Bonnie Pop like this. Yeah, that'd be really cool. I really hope they do the endo teeth in them too. That's really it for Bonnie. Not much to say about it. Oh wait, no, I also gave him a more realistic looking bow tie. But yeah, that's really it for Bonnie. Now it's down to Chica. So for Chica, I decided to give her more movie accurate colors, so I dulled it down a little bit. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with Chica's eyes because the Funko Chica has like giant eyes that look kind of weird. Like she has a black dot, a white ring, and then black around it. I did not really like that. So what I decided to do is, again, with the Pizza Simulator stuff, a smaller black ring, gave her pink eyes and some eyelids, and I think that looked really nice. So I also gave her cupcake, which Funko doesn't usually do, but I again changed the design of the cupcake to look like the one from the Advent calendar. But the one from the Advent calendar has like realistic eyes, which I don't think that really works. I just gave him the cupcake orange eyes like in the movie, and I gave him this like the movie style of the cupcake and the movie style of the cupcake's candle. And then I made the chase like Cheeto with red eyes and like angry eyelids, and I also made the cupcake. What's it called? I also gave the cupcake red eyes. A thing about Chica and Bonnie though. Well, not Bonnie, he doesn't have eyebrows. But the thing about Chica is I don't think her eyebrows usually move, so I decided not to change her eyebrows. But for Freddy and Foxy, I did. But yeah, I also gave Chica her endo teeth, which I think it fits. I made it a lot smaller though because Chica's beak is smaller. So yeah, that's Chica. I actually really liked making this one. I really like how Funko made the holiday Chica from the Advent calendar, so I hope we get like a bigger pop that doesn't have to do with any holidays and it's just for the movie. So yeah, that's Chica. Now it's down to Foxy. So Foxy is a little bit complicated. I actually changed up his design a lot, but then I kept the overall shape of the head too. So Foxy, let's just talk about this. I gave him a more darker color scheme. And yeah, as you can see my render earlier, he has like pink. His like secondary color on his stomach goes all the way up to his shoulders, and then there's just like little red hair coming out of it. So I did that at the pop too. I gave him the one-piece pants instead of like the animatronic pants. I gave him more noticeable rips everywhere and more unique patterns. I gave him the fluff on his cheek that movie Foxy has. I gave him the sunken in eyeball that the Pizza Simulator Funko Pops have, and the colored eye. Foxy is also, I'm pretty sure, has moving eyebrows in the movie, and he just seems angry overall. So I gave Foxy an angry eye, and I gave his red eye angry too. Yeah, I made the brown a little bit darker. And I made the silver a little bit more apparent. Also, you can see like the endo in his stomach a little better. But I'm pretty sure the normal Foxy also has a good endo in its stomach, unlike the action figure Foxy Funko made. So yeah, I gave him a little bit of a different pose too. I gave him having his hook I had his hook in the air instead of just a generic static pose, because that's one of the main things I don't like about FNAF Pops is that they have static poses. But yeah, I think Foxy looks really nice. Definitely very different than the original Foxy. And I hope that Funko. So for Golden Freddy, I decided to give him a unique twist. I feel like this would definitely be a good idea because the original Golden Freddy Funko Pop is like $250 to $300, and it's like really not accurate at all. It's like metallic kind of, even though he's not supposed to be like that. This one has a more cleaner look. I was originally gonna make him look all muddy and broken, but I was like thinking to myself, you know what, this just looks better. I didn't give him a microphone. I just made him stand still. I made his arms a little bit lower to the ground because in that one teaser with him, with Golden Freddy and Abby, it seems his arms just droop down more. So I tried replicating that. I gave him the Pizza Simulator like style eye, but I made it darker blue and then lighter blue in the middle to try to show that it's glowing. And then I gave him the missing ear, and the other eye would just be like sunken in, and it would just have wires in it. And then I also gave him the closed mouth too, that he has in the trailer. So yeah, this is Golden Freddy. I don't think he just really would need a chase. I am really proud of this one. So yeah, also I gave him the realistic bow tie, but I literally just took that from the Freddy Pop. But yeah, now let's get on to Spring Bonnie. So for Spring Bonnie, I decided to give him the Pizzeria Simulator eyes. I gave like the black around it. I gave him silver rings around the white eyes because Springtrap has this like silver disc with like a hole in it, and then you can see the human eye underneath it. So I tried replicating that through Funko Pop form. I think I did a really good job of it. I made one of his ears broken, but I'm pretty sure he only has one broken ear, but it's kind of hard to tell from the trailer. And I made him hold a knife because there's an iconic shot in the trailer where Springtrap or Spring Bonnie, whatever you want to call him, I just like right up to the camera and then the knife flicks up. So I gave him the knife to represent that. Gave him some more withering and a purple bow tie too. And I think he came out really nice. Also, I gave him like the little spring locks on the side of his jaw. Almost forgot to mention that. But yeah, that's really it for Spring Bonnie. But for his chase, I made Steve Raglan or William Afton, whatever you want to call him, and I made a Funko Pop of him because I wanted to use his head for the Spring Bonnie chase because it would be like him unmasked. I think that was really good. I also added blood onto the knife. I think that's just a neat touch. I don't know if he even kills anybody in the movie with the knife, but if he does, I guess that's foreshadowing. I gave him his shoulder pads that are more, you can see his shoulder pads more because the human head is a lot more different than the animatronic head. And yeah, I gave him a neck to kind of support it. But the body is the complete same. Also, the part that would glow in the dark for him would be the knife. The red on the knife would glow. But yeah, that's it for Spring Bonnie. But I do have a second Spring Bonnie pop, which I'll show you right now. So the second Spring Bonnie pop I made for today's video is a neat little extra. This one would probably be an exclusive like GameStop or somewhere. But it's kind of the suit just laying on the ground, like ready to be worn. This is more of a reference to the game, if anything, because in the game, William Afton like falls on the ground after all the blood comes out. He might in the movie, who knows? But yeah, it was supposed to show like the suit before he wore it and then after he wore it. So obviously the one before he wore it is the one without blood. I also gave him black eyes to show that there's no one inside the suit. And then for the second one, I added blood everywhere, and the blood would glow in the dark. That's why it says glow in the dark chase. And the reason why he has black eyes in that one too is because I feel like it would make more sense because he's no longer living. That's kind of a stretch. That's just my opinion. In my opinion, the black eyes look better with all the blood. But yeah, that's Spring Bonnie, the second pop. Actually, there's a couple more things I want to talk about. The blood would be like more darker, I feel like. The way to describe it is the Cocaine Bear pop that they made. Also, I love Cocaine Bear. That's an amazing movie. But the Cocaine Bear pop Funko made, they have like blood on the side of his mouth, and they just kind of painted it over. It's kind of hard to draw that though, but I feel like I did a pretty good description of it. Also, there wouldn't be any blood on the ears because the ears aren't connected to like the person inside's body. So yeah, that's Bloody Spring Bonnie or like Sitting Spring Bonnie, whatever you want to call it. Now we're gonna get on to the humans I made because I made a total of 3 human characters in the Funko Pops. So one thing Funko really overlooks with the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise is that they never made the human characters into Funko Pops or like any type of merchandise. I think they did make William Afton a mystery mini like Spring Bonnie, but that was like literally it. I don't think they'd ever done anything else. So I think it would be really cool if for the FNAF movie, since we're actually seeing them and like we're not just like sprites, we're actually seeing them, that they could make them. So the first character I want to show off is Michael Afton. I didn't really know what his shoes looked like, so I kind of just gave him like brown generic shoes. But I gave him his security guard vest, the stubble on his face, some like brown hair, the gray shirt he's wearing when he walks in, and he has like his flashlight. It's supposed to be like the scene from the trailer where he first walks into the pizzeria, and it's like the Chica like dining area. It's like the dining area, and there's like some like FNAF glass pane stuff, and there's like a Chica one and a Freddy one. So that's supposed to be like that scene from the movie. I think I did Michael really well. The human characters are definitely easier to make than the animatronics, but I kind of like making the human ones because it's something different. So yeah, that's Michael Afton. Now let's get on to Vanessa. So Vanessa was a fun one to make. I decided to give her like a light blue shirt because she's supposed to be a police officer and not a security guard in this one. So that's why she doesn't have like the white security guard outfit on. She has like the blue police officer uniform on. So yeah, I gave her a ponytail and I made it on one side because you wouldn't really be able to see it on the concept. But if Funko actually made this, it would probably just be behind. But for mine, I put it on the side so you can actually see it. I gave her like vest, police vest. I gave her a badge, like a little speaker, like a radio kind of, and then I got a name tag. For her belt, I gave her a flashlight and a gun, which I have a feeling Vanessa will like shoot an animatronic in the movie. That would actually be really funny if they did. And yeah, I just gave her dark blue pants, and that's really it. Vanessa was probably like the simplest one out of all of them that I made, but I think she came out really nice. I really hope they actually do make a Vanessa Pop. I really hope we get human Pops, like I said earlier. But yeah, now let's get into the final Funko Pop for today's video. William Afton himself. So for William Afton, I gave him a mainly yellow shirt with a purple bow tie. This is supposed to mirror his like mainly purple and a little bit of yellow Sprite, but in the movie they did mainly yellow with a little bit of purple. I didn't know what color his pants were, but I think the dark purple pant suited him because then again he is a purple guy. I tried capturing for his face. I tried capturing Matthew Lillard's likeness. So I gave him a lot of like wrinkles. I gave him a little bit of wrinkles. I gave him a gray scruffy beard, and I gave him gray hair and some glasses. And I think that came out really nice. And then for his shoes, I gave him like brown shoes. Nothing really that special. Again, I couldn't really see his shoes either. But yeah, William Afton was a very simple one to do. I talked more about him earlier, so that's why this part's so short. But that's it for the Funko Pops. Now let's get on to the action figures I made. So the first action figure we got for today's video is actually not a FNAF movie character. It's the only one that's not a FNAF movie character. And this is Shattered Dormant Freddy. And the reason I made this is because everybody was asking me where he was in the last video. But guys, just because I don't make a character doesn't mean I'm not eventually going to make him be. Everyone kept telling me I forgot about him. I really didn't. I just felt like I could use him in a future video. Same with the Costume Mimic and a couple other people. Like Costume Mimic, Mapbot, and Shattered Dormant Freddy I was going to use in the upcoming video. But I decided to make him because so many people were asking about him. But yeah, I know he doesn't have a bow tie. I just thought it would fit more. And I gave him like a little bit, like a very big wires so it could kind of cover the amount of the head would be like half the amount. But yeah, that's really it. I used Firework Freddy as a base surprisingly because I feel like it kind of fit. But yeah, that's Shattered Dormant Freddy, just so all you guys were asking for it. Also, the next couple action figures won't have a box because I made 2 of each of them. You'll see in a second. So the first FNAF movie action figure I made was Freddy. Originally I made him much darker looking, but I decided to make him have more of a lighter brown coat. That's how he looks in the movie. Now I'm going to explain what I was talking about. I made 2 of each character because I made one with red eyes and one normal one. I did this for Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. I did not do it for Golden Freddy. Well, I kind of did for Golden Freddy. I'll explain that later. And I did not do it at all for Spring Bonnie. But the reason I did this is because I feel like Funko would do this as just like an easy recolor and also kind of looks cool. They'd probably make these like only and exclusive to one store. Like if I had to use like an example, remember the Blacklight security breach plushes? How they were only at Hot Topic and like a mini wave? It would be like that, but it would only be at like Target or Walmart, something like that. So for Freddy, I gave him a light brown coat. I made him have a realistic bow tie. I obviously used Firework Freddy as a base because that's like the most accurate action figure of Freddy. You can really tell I used him as a base. I gave him like the light brown coating on his feet. I gave him a light brown coating on his belly. I actually originally made him much darker, so I made him lighter. That's why the black lines look a little bit like dark greenish, if I had to explain. For the angry version, I gave him angry eyebrows. I gave him the squinting eyes. I made him have bright red eyes instead of the orange ones because the only time we see Freddy with red eyes is in the poster and in the first trailer, and he's like kind of squinting, so I decided to replicate that. So not much for Freddy because, again, I just used an existing action figure as a base. I actually decided not to give him his microphone just to make him a little bit different. But yeah, that's Freddy. I feel like this would be a really cool one to get eventually. Now let's get on to Bonnie. So for Bonnie, it was a little bit hard to make this one. We had trouble replicating his head sculpt. I used kind of the same body as I did for Freddy, but I did make his stomach a little bit different because Bonnie has like a little bit more rounder, like white part on his stomach. You can see it, like the white part on his stomach's a little bit rounder, and his bow tie is a little bit bigger too. I made him have a realistic bow tie like he has in the movie. I gave him movie accurate colors, and I made the angry expression with the red eyeballs. I think I could have done a little bit better on Bonnie, to be honest. I don't think I replicated his head sculpt perfectly, but I still think it looks like much better than the official Bonnie Funko made. But yeah, I really liked making Bonnie. Didn't give him his guitar because I wanted to do something different with it, and we already have a Bonnie with a guitar, so I think this is fine. But yeah, that's Bonnie. I feel like it definitely could have done better on this one, but I think it still looks good. So for Chica, there's not really much I could do because the original Chica figure from 2016, that looks pretty good. It still looks pretty accurate. Besides the top teeth and the silver toes, it's probably one of the best of Wave 1 in my opinion. It's a very underrated figure. But the re-releases of Chica, they did something wrong with the eyes. So this version of Chica, I decided to give her bigger eyes, a more rounder head sculpt that was more accurate to the FNAF movie, more accurate colors, no top teeth, and a more angrier expression overall, just to make it a little bit different from the original. I gave it white toes, I gave it bigger hands so it could hold the cupcake better. And yeah, speaking of the cupcake decided to basically completely redo. I gave it a very accurate FNAF movie mold because the cupcake is definitely the animatronic the biggest change. Actually, no, Golden Freddy has the biggest change, but Cupcake is definitely up there. So I made the Cupcake look more accurate, and then for the exclusive Chica with the red eyes, I literally just gave Chica red eyes, and I made the Cupcake have an angrier expression. I gave the Cupcake red eyes. So, not much to say for Chica. I think this one's definitely an improvement from Funko's, but I'm going to be honest, I really like Funko's Chica for some reason. Like the re-release one, but the original one I really liked. Now it's on to Foxy. So for Foxy, this one I changed up a lot. This is definitely the most different from all the original figures. I gave Foxy more realistic looking pants. Originally I was going to make it like one piece, but then you wouldn't really be able to move the upper leg joints, so I just decided to add some endo parts. Just because I'm trying to make it as accurate as possible, but I still want to make it look realistic. Like obviously Funko wouldn't make it so his legs can't move. So I just decided to add the joints. It's not that big of a deal. I made Foxy's endo more apparent. You can see it more in his arms. You can see it in his main body. And the leg endo is basically I just took radioactive Foxy's feet because for some reason he had very detailed feet. I made some endo in the pants, you can see. And his endo hand is realistic too. I made his hook a little bit bigger, but it wasn't a lot. His stomach, I gave him the Foxy stomach from the FNAF movie because, well, it was inspired from Foxy from the FNAF movie. The only difference is the secondary color in the stomach, which is the tan, goes all the way up to the top, and then the fur from his shoulder comes out of the top. So that's the main difference, and I think it looks really nice. I gave him some rips basically all around him, and then for his head, to make him different from the original Foxy, I decided to give him an open eye patch. And I think that looks really nice. I also made his ears more fluffier. I made his cheeks more fluffier, like how he is in the movie. And I gave him some golden teeth. But I'm pretty sure the original Foxy figure doesn't have any golden teeth. I could be wrong on that, though. I also gave him more angrier expression, too. But yeah, for Foxy's exclusive, though, this is the only one I didn't give it the bright red eyes that they have in the poster and the first trailer. I gave him the more toned down orange eyes, which he has in the second trailer. And I think that fits Foxy more. Foxy was always a little bit different from the main three, and I think it works. So yeah, that was Foxy. This one's definitely one I'm really proud of. Now let's get on to Golden Freddy. So for Golden Freddy, I didn't do much with him because, well, he's just a recolor of Freddy, but I did make two versions of him, one with his mouth open and one with his mouth closed. Yet in the trailer, we only see him with his mouth closed, but usually Golden Freddy's known for the big mouth that's always hanging open. So I just decided to make two of them, but I made two of a lot of the other figures, so I was like, it's not that big of a deal. I gave him his eyes with a lot more wires, and I also did his ears with a lot more wires. I gave it a lot more detail than I did with the Mystery Mini. His eye would be sunken in, and the other eye would be kind of popping out. But yeah, Golden Freddy's not really much to say of him. I gave him the realistic bow tie, I gave him more accurate colors, stuff like that. It's really just a recolor of Freddy, well, it is, it's just Golden Freddy. But yeah, that's it for Golden Freddy. Now let's get on to Spring Bonnie. So the final action figure of today's video is Withered Spring Bonnie, the one from the FNAF movie. He's kind of the middle phase of Spring Bonnie to Springtrap. So, what I did for him is, I don't know exactly how he looked, but I do know a good amount. He has the metal rods around his eyes. I gave him the human eyes underneath, the spring locks on his cheek, some spring locks in his mouth, the hole on the side of his head, the hole on the upper part of his ear. Gave him some wires leaking out, a purple bow tie, one button. We don't know if he has only one button in the movie or if any, but I'm assuming he does. Gave him some metal parts on his hands, so it looks like the suit's deteriorating. Some withering on the arms and legs, and then you can see some more of the spring locks on his upper legs. So that's really it for Spring Bonnie. He's kind of an easy one to make, but I feel like it still looks good because it's mostly detailed. I don't think I got his head sculpt for the movie exactly right, but I think it's close enough. Anyway, let's get on to the FNAF Ruin mystery minis that I was talking about in the last video. So the final concepts for today's video is 4 mystery minis. 3 of these are exclusives. One of them is just a remake of a mystery mini I made last video. So let's just talk about that one first. I made Mexis again because the one I made in the other video is completely not accurate at all. And this one looks 10 times better. I really like this one. I even add the shading on him. I really hope we get a Mexis mini. That would look really cool. I gave him a little pixelated stand for him and some pixels on him. That's how he kind of is. And some holes in his ear. I think he looks really nice. I really captured him well. And he's definitely one of my favorite concepts I made for this video. So now let's talk about the exclusive mystery minis, which is Headless Freddy, Glamour Bonnie, and Mimic. So with Headless Freddy, I simplified him down a lot because, well, he's going to be a lot smaller, so I can't add all his details. I still gave him the metal foot, his endoskeleton, the prize box inside of it. I gave him the wires coming out of his head, and I gave him more dirtier colors instead of the bright orange and bright red. But I didn't add the lightning bolt. I just don't think there was enough room for it. I didn't add the bow tie either, but he doesn't even have the bow tie in the game. I just like adding it. I think it looks nicer. And I also gave him his endo hands. For Glamour Bonnie, this is one I also hope we really get. I tried making him look like the newer style of minis, like the balloon circus one, with the eyes, but they look a little different and a little bit better. And I gave him the star on his chest. I made him the fixed version, but I think it just looks better. And overall, it's just a very simple mini to make. I can really picture Funko making this one. So hopefully we do get a Glamour Bonnie mini one day. That would be really cool. Now the final thing for today's video is the Mimic mystery mini. He was kind of hard to do because his head I didn't really know what to do with, because Funko only made one endoskeleton mystery mini. Well, technically 2 if you count Yendo. But they made his head rounder, so it's a triangle still. But I just decided to make Mimic's head more accurate, just a little bit bigger. But I think it fits him more. And then I gave him the clutched arm, some details. I did simplify them down a lot, but I still kept the long arms and the long legs. So those were the mystery minis. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It took me a long time to make. I'm going to try consistently uploading every 2 weeks. These videos take a very long time to make. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.